On behalf of the Oak Hill High School Drama Club, we would like to welcome you to the theater between your ears, that place in the center of your head where radio paints pictures and stages events, the likes of which neither television, movies, or any other theater form can duplicate. Radio, theater of the mind, theater of the imagination. In its heyday, radio offered something for everyone. Each listener received his fair share of drama, suspense, and comedy. The best of all possible worlds was ours at the turn of a dial. This was radio. Although we can't literally transport you back to those golden years, we can invite you to enjoy an evening of radio plays, some serious, others humorous, and all performed as how you would have witnessed them as a broadcasting studio member in the 40s and 50s. We have made one concession to modern technology, however, with some sound effects being live, while others are recorded. So sit back, relax, and join us for On the Air. This was radio.
It's a real thirst quencher, don't forget. Its fresh, clean taste is the finest yet. It's a quick, refreshing lift you get. Nothing does it like 7-Up.
Our first story has to do with the dignity of Her Majesty's Navy. This dignity was seldom compromised, but when it was, you could count on it being an event worth remembering, and sometimes chuckling over. Jim Court caught the subtle nuances of this British faux pas in his short story entitled Encounter at Sea.
Good evening, seamen.
Good evening, Captain, sir.
Dark night tonight. Black as a tar barrel. Keep a sharp eye.
Sharp eye, sir. Aye, aye, sir.
Reminds me of the Straits of Murmansk back in 39.
39, sir. Yes, sir. I know, sir.
Couldn't see your hand before your face. Had to run without lights because of the Jerry's, you know? And the cold freeze the life out of you.
Life right out of you. Yes, sir.
I was just a lad, of course, but I managed to do my duty even in those beastly conditions. I remember the first time I saw the Aurora Borealis. Magnificent, all shimmering in the night sky.
I see a light, sir.
No, I don't think so. We're too far north.
No, sir. A light, sir. Out there, bearing on the starboard bow.
Is it steady or moving stern?
Steady as a rock, sir.
By Jove, headed straight for us. Send a signal.
Signal, sir. Aye, aye, sir.
We are on a collision course. Advise you change course 20 degrees.
They're making a reply, sir.
What do they say?
Advisable you change course 20 degrees.
What?
Advisable you change your...
I heard what they said. Now send this. I am a captain in Her Majesty's Navy. Change course 20 degrees.
I am a seaman, second class. You had better change course 20 degrees.
Dashed impertinence.
Impertinence, sir. Yes, sir.
Send this message, seaman. This is a battleship. Change course 20 degrees.
This is a lighthouse?
Bridge.
Aye, aye, sir.
Change course 20 degrees port.
20 degrees port it is, sir.
Good night, Seaman.
Good night, sir.
Look for the spear and get chewing enjoyment. Look for the spear, get Wrigley's. Fresh, strong, lively, long-lasting too. You'll say Wrigley's is great to chew. Look for the spear and get chewing enjoyment.
With the biggest little treat in all the land.
Get the package with the spear and you'll know enjoyment's here. Be sure it's Wrigley's gum.
Our next story is adapted from a Welsh folktale in which our hero longs mightily to overcome what today might be clinically referred to as being intellectually challenged. Let's listen to Morgan and the Pot of Brains.
I put the sheep in the barn, Ma. The day's work is done.
That's Morgan. He's a good-hearted lad, but he's not very smart. The people in his village call him a fool and a simpleton. But despite his simplicity, Morgan had plans for himself.
Ma, I've decided I'm gonna go visit the witch on the hill, and I'm gonna ask her to sell me some brains. I'm gonna get myself a pot of brains.
That sounds like a good idea, Morgan. Oh, but don't forget to be polite to her. You've got to be polite to witches.
So Morgan set out. After a good bit of walking, Morgan reached the top of the mountain and went up to the door of the witch's house. He knocked, and then opened the door and gasped.
Gasp!
The witch sat with her back to him, stirring something over the fire.
Good morning to you, Mrs.
Good morning, Morgan.
She knows who I am without looking. That's pretty good. Nice weather we've been having.
Oh, nice weather, Morgan. If you don't mind the rain.
Well, now that we've both been so polite to each other, I've come to ask if you'll sell me a pot of brains.
Oh, you did you? And did you want king's brains or schoolmaster's brains? Because I don't have any of those to sell you.
No, ma'am. I just wanted plain old brains, like everybody's got, or thinks they do.
Well, I might be able to help you, but you'll have to work for them.
Well, I don't mind working, Mrs.
I see that you don't. Then I want you to bring me the heart of the thing you love the best. And if it's the right thing, and you can answer a riddle, we'll see if we don't get you a pot of brains.
Yes, Mrs. I'll be back.
So Morgan hurried home to report to his ma.
Ma, I saw the witch. She said to bring her the heart of the thing that I love the best. But I don't know what that is. I love sunny days. I love green beans. Oh, I know. I'll bring her the sheep's heart, because I love to eat mutton best of all.
That sounds like a good idea, Morgan. It would be worth it if you came home with some brains, boy.
So the next morning, Morgan set out with the sheep's heart wrapped up in a towel.
Oh, it's you.
Today is Brains Day, Mrs. I brought you the heart of the thing I love the best. It's a sheep's heart.
I see that it is, Morgan. Let's see if it's the right thing then, boy. Here's your riddle. What runs without feet?
runs without feet. Well, I don't know, missus.
Then you didn't bring the right thing, Morgan. Go home, boy, but keep trying.
All right, missus.
But when Morgan got to his house, he saw that the neighbors had all gathered in the yard.
Morgan, Morgan, come quick. Your mother's fallen ill and we're afraid she's gonna die.
Oh no!
Morgan went inside, and sure enough, there was his mother laying on her bed.
Oh, Morgan. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. You've come home with some brains, boy. Cause you're gonna need them now.
And then she did die.
My, you shouldn't have left me. I love you the best of all. Oh, I hope this doesn't mean I have to take your heart and bring it to the witch if I'm ever gonna get my brains. But maybe my whole mother will do.
So he put her in a bag and once again traipsed up the hill and into the witch's hut.
Mrs., I brought you the heart of the thing I love the best.
I see that you did, Morgan. Let's see if it's the right thing, boy. Here's your riddle. What's yellow and shining and is not gold?
Yellow and shining. Yellow and shining. Well, I don't know, missus.
Then you didn't bring the right thing, Morgan. Go home, boy, and keep looking.
Yes, missus.
So Morgan picked up his burden and went out into the road. He laid the bag down beside a wall and started to cry his eyes out. But about that time, a lass from the valley came walking up the road. And when she saw this good-hearted boy crying fit to bust, something about him made her heart beat a little faster.
Oh, what's the matter, boy?
Well, I killed my sheep. And my mother's dead. And I don't know. I don't have brains. And there's no one left to take care of me. Otherwise, everything's okay, I suppose.
Well, maybe I could marry you and take care of you.
Well, you could? Can you cook?
I can cook real good.
And can you sew and clean and mend?
I can do those things too.
Well, I think you'll do.
So they joined hands and went down to the village. And did you know that they were married and buried his mother all in the same afternoon? And they lived very happily for a time, until one day Morgan was working in the fields. Suddenly, he had this urge to run to his house.
Lass, I've come to tell you that I love you the best of all.
Well, that's nice to hear, Morgan. But did you have to quit your work to come tell me that just now?
You see, I was wondering just now that if I have to kill you and take your heart up to the witch, if I'm ever gonna get my brains.
Well, I bet you don't have to. Couldn't you take me up to the witch with my heart beating nicely inside me, the way it is?
Well, that might do. But then there's these riddles, and I never get the riddles right.
Well, maybe I could help you.
Oh, well, mm, I don't know. Riddles is tough for women folk.
Why don't you try me?
Well, there, okay. Well, there's one that goes, what runs without feet? Without feet.
Water does.
Well, you're right. Now, what's yellow and shining, but it's not gold. Can't be gold.
The sun is.
Well, you're good at this. Maybe we could do it.
So they joined hands and went up to the witch's house, and they didn't have to knock this time because she was sitting on her porch. And when she saw them coming together, she began to smile.
Good morning, Mrs. I brought you the heart of the thing I love the best.
I see that you did, Morgan. Let's see if it's the right thing then, boy. Here's your riddle. What has always been there, but is only a month old?
Now, I don't know the answer.
That would be the moon, Morgan.
That would be the moon, Mrs.
Aye, and you're right, Morgan. And I see you've got yourself a pot of brains.
Brains. I got brains, but where are they, Mrs.?
They're in your wife's head. You married them, Morgan.
Well, I guess I did, and that's pretty good.
So Morgan and his wife joined hands and went back to their house, and they did live happily ever after. And Morgan never tried to buy a pot of brains again. His wife had enough to last them.
Be really refreshed. Work and play at your best. Enjoy the refreshingness. Pause for a Coke. Ice cold Coca-Cola.
Our next piece by Kingsley Amis describes a visit to a tea room and perhaps beyond of tea and time. It was exactly the place you would choose for a relaxing cup of tea.
Quiet,
Cozy,
with a nice selection of scones and biscuits,
offering the comfort of choice to Margaret's freely acknowledged sweet tooth,
and not too expensive.
which seemed not to be a matter of concern to the smartly dressed young woman who approached Margaret's corner table.
May I join you?
Well,
The slightly plump woman with the undistinguished clothes and the blank, anonymous face looked up at Carol, who
Cup of tea balanced on a saucer.
stood facing her.
by all means, do sit down.
Can I get you something?
Carol, tall, handsome, and fully molded features, had an intent, almost excited air that might have made,
An unfavorable impression.
under other circumstances,
No, I'm fine, thank you.
said the seated woman, gesturing at the teapot and plate of cookies before her.
We've never met, have we?
Not as far as I recall.
Good, good. My name's Carol. Carol Ann Daniels. What's yours?
Margaret. Margaret Louise Gilbert, if you want it in full.
Well, I think that's best, don't you? Margaret Louise Gilbert.
The newcomer spoke as if committing the 3 short words to memory.
Now, let's have your telephone number.
Again, Margaret might have reacted,
Against this demanding manner.
but she said no more than,
I'm in the book.
No, there might be several. Please, we mustn't waste time.
Oh, very well. It's public information after all. 2325.
Hold on. You're going too fast for me. 232.
5454.
What a stroke of luck. I ought to be able to remember that.
Why don't you write it down if it's so important to you?
At this, Carol gave a knowing grin that faded into a look of disappointment.
But that's of no use, don't you know? Anyway, 232-5454. I might as well give you my number too. 7.
I don't want your number, miss. And I must say, I rather regret giving you mine.
But you must take my number.
Nonsense. I have no use for your telephone number.
Carol quickly backed off, raising her hand slightly to ward off the objection.
A phrase then. Let's agree on a phrase to exchange in the morning.
Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
She began to suspect that the strange woman was
What do they call them on TV?
a con artist.
Yes, a con artist.
She turned the stone of her ring palmward with her thumb.
Please, our time's running out.
You keep saying that. Our time for what?
Any moment, everything might change, and I might find myself somewhere completely different. And so might you, I suppose, though I can't help feeling it's doubtful whether
Miss Davis.
Daniels.
Miss Daniels. Either you explain yourself at once, or I'll call for the manager.
All right, but it won't do any good.
The younger woman brought her agitation under control with a sip of tea.
You see, when we started talking, I thought you must be a real person because of the way you...
Spare me your pop psychology, please. Real person indeed.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant in the most literal way possible.
Mercy, are you crazy? Or drunk? Or what?
Nothing like that. I'm asleep.
Asleep?
Yes, as I was saying, at first I took you for another real person in the same situation as myself. Sound asleep, dreaming, aware of the fact, and eager to exchange names and numbers at the object of getting in touch the next day. To confirm this shared experience, that would prove something remarkable, wouldn't it?
People communicating through their dreams.
It's a pity one so seldom realizes one's dreaming. I've only been able to try this experiment 4 or 5 times, and I've never had any success. Either I forget the details, or I find there's no such person, as in this case.
Carol lapsed into disappointment for a moment, then brightened almost imperceptibly.
But I'll go on.
Oh, my dear, Miss Daniels, I fear you are hopelessly confused.
No, not at all. Not confused. Of course, it's conceivable there is such a person as you. Unlikely, though, or you'd have recognized the true situation at once, instead of arguing against it like this. As I say, I may be wrong.
It's hopeful you say that. I don't know much about these things, but...
Margaret paused, hesitating to enter another psyche.
But you can't be too far gone if you admit that you could be in error. Now let me assure you that I did not come into existence 5 minutes ago inside your head. My name, as I told you, is Margaret Louise Gilbert. I'm 42, married to a man in the furniture business, mother of 3 children, but giving you no more than an outline of my realness would take all night.
Margaret began to busy herself with her things.
Let's just finish our tea and go along to my house, and then we can...
Carol just shook her head sadly.
But you're just a woman in my dreams saying that. 232-5454. I'll call the number if it exists, but it won't be you at the other end.
Carol closed her eyes and began to repeat.
232.
Why are you so agitated?
Because of what may happen to you at any moment.
What can happen to me?
232-54.
Margaret looked again for the manager.
232-54.
Is this a threat?
232.
Carol was breathing fast. Her finely drawn features began to coarsen, and the pattern of her sweater to become blurred.
The alarm clock, it must be later than I thought.
Alarm clock? What alarm clock?
She started to rise.
The one at my bedside. I'm waking up.
Margaret grabbed her by the arm as if to steady her, but that arm had lost a greater part of its outline, had become a vague patch of light already fading. Fading. And when Margaret
looked at the hand that had done the grabbing,
her own hand, she saw,
with difficulty,
it likewise no longer had
rings,
or fingers,
or front,
or back,
or
anything.
I like those tiny little tea leaves in Tetley.
Tiny little tea leaves in Tetley tea, specially made for tea bags.
When I want flavor in a teacup, it's Tetley.
Flavor in a teacup, please get me Tetley.
It's my cup of tea.
This play is presented with apologies to William Shakespeare and Sir Francis Bacon, just in case. Rinse the blood off my toga. Rome, 44 BC.
My name is Flavius Maximus. I'm a private Romani. My license number is IXIVLLCCD also comes in handy as an eye chart. It all began during the Ides of March. I was in my office. I had just sent another criminal to jail, Suetonius the gladiator. He'd been fixing fights at this Colosseum. He had a crooked lion that just kept taking a dive.
Boo! Kill the bomb!
Kill the bomb!
Anyways, I was sitting there. My secretary walked in.
Morning, Flavius. Here's the mail.
Hey, easy with those marble postcards. Break my table. Anything else, baby?
Yes, there's somebody outside to see you. He was awful excited about something.
Okay, show him in, doll.
Will you come in, sir?
Oh, thank you, miss.
Eek!
You, Flavius Maximus, private Romani?
Yeah, what's on your mind?
Just a minute. Are we alone?
Yeah, we're alone.
Are you sure we're alone?
Yeah, I'm sure we're alone.
Are you positive we're alone?
I'm positive that we're alone.
Well, who's that standing beside you?
That's you.
I know. But can I be trusted?
I could see I was dealing with no ordinary man. This guy was a nut. All right, what's on your mind?
Flavius Maximus, a terrible thing has happened. It is the greatest crime in the history of Rome.
Oh, all right. Give it to me straight. What's up?
Julius Caesar has been murdered.
Julius Caesar murdered? I couldn't believe my ears. Big Julie was dead.
He was killed just 20 minutes ago. It happened in the Senate. He was stabbed.
Stabbed?
Yeah, they got him right in the rotunda.
Oh, that's a painful spot. I had a splinter there once. Marble splinters, you know.
I tell you, all of Rome is in an uproar. And I came to you because you are the top private eye in Rome. You've got to find the killer.
Well, I'll try.
You can do it. After all, you're the guy that got Nero. You sent him up on that arson rap.
Yeah, Nero. The whole town was sure burned up about him. You get it? The whole town.
What do you say, Flavius? Will you take the case?
Just a minute, Pally. I'd like to know who I'm working for. Just who are you?
Oh, I'm a senator. I was Caesar's best friend. The name is Brutus.
Brutus, eh? All right, Brutus. You got yourself a boy. I'll take the case. My fee is 125 drachmas a day, payable in advance.
Okay, here you are.
You're one short.
You've got a good ear.
When it comes to money, perfect pitch. Let's go. We went outside and flagged a passing chariot and made our way down to the Via Diphtheria. The streets were crowded with the usual people, slaves,
Yo.
Yo-hee-ho, yo-hee-ho,
legionnaires,
hut, 2, 3, 4, hut, 2, 3, 4.
patricians,
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
thank you, thank you.
and a little man who came out of a doorway
Psst. Psst.
and sold you postcards from Gaul.
Ha ha.
Before long, we found ourselves at the Senate.
Nay!
Flavius, this is where it happened. This is where Big Julie got knocked off.
Yeah. Now, where is the Corpus Delicti?
The what?
The Corpus. What's the matter with you, boy? You don't understand plain Latin? The body.
Oh, the stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's lying right over there.
Wowee. 8 daggers in him.
Yeah. What do you think?
If he were alive today, he'd be a pretty sick boy. He's really fixed for blades, huh?
Come on, Flavius. You gotta solve this crime.
All right. Fill me in on the setup here. Who are those guys over there?
They were all here when it happened. That's Publius.
Brutus.
That's Casca.
Brutus?
And there's Trebonius.
Oh, Brutus.
I see. Who's that guy over there with the lean and hungry look on his kisser?
That's Cassius.
He looks like a loser from the Colosseum. Who do you think is the likeliest suspect?
That fellow next to him.
Wait a minute. That's you.
Oh, I know. But can I be trusted?
I could see I was dealing with no ordinary case. This was a mental case.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Who's the dame?
That's Caesar's wife. Her name is Calpurnia.
Yeah? Well, she's a suspect too. Just a minute. Pardon me, Mrs. Caesar.
Yes?
Flavius Maximus, Private Romani. I'd like to ask you a few questions. What do you know about this?
I told him. Julie, don't go. Julie, don't go. I told him, but he wouldn't listen to me.
Mrs. Caesar.
If I told him once, I told him 1,000 times, Julie, don't go.
Please.
I begged him, don't go, I told him, Julie, don't go. It's the Ides of March, beware already. But would he listen to his wife? No. I told him, Julie,
Please.
don't go. Julie, don't go.
I'm going. All right, senators. You can go too, but don't leave town.
Right. Well, what do you think?
I don't know. Not an angle anywhere. Not a
Well, cheer up, Flavius. After all, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Hey, what was that?
Hmm? Oh, I said Rome wasn't built in a day.
Hey, that's good. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's very good.
You like it?
Yeah,
It's yours.
thanks. Well, let's reconstruct the crime. Now, Caesar was over here, and shh,
What's the matter?
there's somebody behind that pillar.
Oh,
I'll go get him. All right, Buster. What are you doing hanging around here?
Why shouldn't I? I'm Mark Antony.
Mark Antony?
Yeah, I just made a speech over the body of Caesar. I said, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears.
Yeah? Well, what have you got in the sack?
Ears.
Will you get me out of here?
Wait a minute. Don't you want to know who bumped off Julius Caesar?
Yeah. You know who did it? Out with it. What's his name?
Yeah, his name is... A-E-I-O-U.
That's a funny name. Must be Greek.
look, he's dead.
What a confusing case. All I got for clues is 2 dead bodies and a sack full of ears.
Now, look, Flavius, I'm paying you 100 drachmas a day.
125 drachmas.
All right, you've got a good ear.
I got a sack full of ears.
Now, look, let's have some action here.
All right. Don't get your toga in a knot. Listen, I've got a pal, Claudius. He runs a bar on the Via Dysenteria. He should have a few answers for me.
Hey, that's the idea. Get out among the people, ask questions. After all, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Hey, what was that one? What was that one?
I said, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
That's very good. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Very
Like-
good.
You like it?
Yeah,
It's yours.
thanks. I'll see you later.
Man.
Claudius's Bar and Grill is a hangout where I get all the answers. It's just a small place with a few tables and a guy in the corner playing a cool lead pipe.
Hey, Flavius!
Hi, Claude. What's new?
Not much. What are you drinking?
Give me a Martinez.
You made a martini?
If I want to, I'll ask for them. Look, I'm working on this Julius Caesar kill. Know anything?
Try that dame over there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, sister, start talking.
I told him, Julie, don't go. Julie, don't go.
Out, out, out!
Hey, look, Flavius. I think I know the guy you're looking for.
You mean Mr. Big?
Yeah, his name is A-E-I-O-U.
Now that's an interesting name. Got a chisel? I'd like to write it down. Claudius? Claudius? I would never get any more conversation from him. He was dead. This was shaping up to be a bigger case than I thought. Suddenly, I look up, and there's Brutus.
Hello, Flavius.
Brutus, what are you doing here?
I was looking for you. Hey, what's that on the floor?
That's Claudius, the bartender.
That's a funny place for him to carry a knife. In his back.
He's dead. He was stabbed through the portico.
Hey, that's even more painful than the rotunda. Well, have you come up with any answers? Who killed Julius Caesar?
Started to think, and slowly the pieces fell into place. Brutus was the only man around when all those men got killed. Caesar, Antony, the bartender. Brutus was always there. Things were beginning to add up. I put 1 and 2 together, and it became IV. It was time to make my move.
Well, have you come up with any answers? Who killed Julius Caesar?
Only one guy could have done it.
Yeah, who?
Let's not play games, Brutus. Or should I say, Mr. Big.
What are you getting at?
If the sandal fits, wear it. You knocked off Big Julie.
You're out of your mind. I hired you to find the killer.
Pretty smart, but not smart enough. All right now, are you gonna talk? Or do I have to call in a couple of centurions to lean on ya?
All right, Flatfoot, I did it. I admit it. I knocked off Big Julie, and I'd do it again.
That's all I wanted to know. I'm sending you up to the Tiber for a long stretch. Come on, I'll call a chariot and we'll go downtown.
Don't move unless you want a dagger in your toga.
What?
I'm getting out of here. Don't try to stop me.
He had the drop on me, and I couldn't stop him. But I knew where he was heading. For the scene of the crime, the Senate. And 15 minutes later, I pulled up in my chariot. Siberius! Siberius, hand me that ram's horn.
Here you are, Flav.
All right, Brutus. This is Flavius Maximus. I know you're in there. Come on out.
Come and get me, you dirty, rotten Flatfoot.
You haven't got a chance, Brutus. I've got the Senate surrounded with a stakeout. Now throw down your sword and come out with your hands up.
Come and get me.
Get smart, Brutus. We can smoke you out. We'll throw in incense. We'll throw in an onion on a spear.
I don't care what you do.
All right. You asked for it. Give it to him, Siberius.
All right, Brutus. One false move, and I'll fill you full of bronze.
All right, you got me, Seamus, but I'll be back.
Oh, no, you won't. This isn't a series.
Huh?
It's just one little special.
Don't worry, I'll be back. Just remember one thing. All roads lead to Rome.
Wait. Bring him back.
What?
Wait now. That one was a dandy. All roads lead to Rome. That is the best, you know that?
Oh, you like it?
Yeah.
Well, you can't have it.
Get out!
Good work, Flavius. All of Rome salutes you. Hail Flavius.
Hail Flavius.
Thanks, boys. But now if you'll excuse me, I have a date with a doll. Okay, baby, I'm ready. Are you sure your husband doesn't object?
Well, frankly, I don't care. I told him, Julie, don't go. Julie, don't go.
Oh, no!
Oh, wouldn't you really rather have a Buick? A Buick? A Buick? Oh, wouldn't you really rather have a Buick than any other kind of car.
The stage manager in the theater of your mind is a weaver of dreams. Some are pleasant, others sheer nightmares. You can judge for yourself, as in this dark little story by Julia Saltzman entitled The Long Retreat.
Stephen dear, wake up. Please, Stephen, wake up.
What? Oh, what
Lord,
is it?
how you can sleep.
Can I?
More than any man I ever knew.
Well, you ought to be glad I don't snore.
Yes, that's in your favor. But you do sleep.
What is a man to do when he gets old?
I know what he's not to do. He shouldn't retire.
We're off again, the captain shouted.
You know very well that if you hadn't given up your practice, you'd still be a man today. You wouldn't be sitting here like a doddering Methuselah. That green pup just out of college said, "You're old, doctor," and you believed him.
He was right.
I'm not saying you're young, but...
How old am I, Nora?
I don't know. That's funny. Don't you know?
No, I lost track. Doesn't matter, really. What did you even wake me for? What happened?
I thought I heard a scraping noise.
Rats, probably.
No, it didn't sound like them. It wasn't at all regular. It had a metal-like sound to it.
Well, if it's a burglar, he's welcome.
Wait, there it goes again.
I don't hear anything.
Neither do I.
But
I feel it in the vibrations around me.
Don't get excited, Nora dear. It's only senile dementia in the presbyophrenia stage.
Don't you dare. If there's anybody that should be getting senile, it's you. I was 8 years younger than you when I married you.
And now we're the same age. We're old.
Not on your life, Stephen Bailey. I'm younger than you, and well, you know it. I'll always be younger.
In that case, be a good girl. Hop over there where the noise is coming from and find out what's causing it.
I'll do no such thing. I'm very comfortable where I am. I like my perch too much.
I knew it.
Guess you're right. I am old.
That's a brave admission for a woman to make.
How do you suppose we got to be the old buzzards that we are?
I don't know. Time, I think. We stood there and time rained the years on us.
I would have given a lot for an umbrella against that rain.
So would a great many other people.
There, the scraping again. Don't you feel it, Stephen?
Yes. Faintly.
Well then, what are you waiting for? Get up and find out what it is.
Must I, Nora? It may only be your imagination becoming, contagious. My, hearing the scraping, I mean.
Oh, you've changed, Stephen. You've changed.
No curiosity, is that it?
Why, there was a time when people and things around you just couldn't provide you with enough puzzles. You were that curious. You used to devour book after book.
Mm-hmm. And you became jealous of those books.
Of your microscope, too. They took you away from me.
You finally broke my microscope.
Then skimped for 1.5 years to buy you a new one.
Yeah, in case you didn't know it, you were quite the wildcat when you were younger.
You weren't too tame yourself. I remember right after our marriage, you'd come back from studying at the Leipzig. You'd stand up and shout, "The work of von Kelliker of Metschkinoff." The names still ring in my ears.
I must have shouted them loud enough.
You did. You said, "Their work must not remain mere laboratory curiosities. It must be utilized in medical practice." You were a crusader then.
Yeah, I had something to crusade for. X-rays, serum treatment, spinal analgesia.
Then you lost interest.
No, Nora, they became accepted.
But there must have come up with new discoveries that needed fighting for.
God, it isn't easy to come up with things when you have a practice to take care of and a wife to care for.
Are you sorry, dear, that you became just a plain doctor?
No. It had its compensations. I got to know almost every youngster in town. I delivered them. These last years, I could have wielded some significant political influence if I wanted to.
No, the gardener's wife never forgot you.
Human nature would be quite shabby if they did. I had worked nearly a day and a half bringing their firstborn into the world.
Every spring, like clockwork, they send their son around with a potted flower or two. They've been doing it pretty near 12 years now. I've never seen such regularity.
I asked that boy what he would do with the flowers if he found out one spring that we passed away.
What a fool thing to ask a boy.
What do you suppose he said?
I don't know.
Neither did he. He said he'd find out from his parents and let me know.
And did he?
Yeah, the very next day. He said he'd plant them on our grave.
Serves you right. You shouldn't talk foolishness like that to a boy.
That is no foolishness.
To the living it is.
I'm not so sure about that.
Not so sure about what?
Death being foolishness to the living? Take us, for instance. Do you remember those utterly gigantic schemes we had set out for ourselves when we were so young? They embraced nearly every phase of our future life and were of such enormous proportions, even in the smaller details.
There's no accounting for young people's imagination.
True, but the fact remains that we had these goals, tried to carry them out, and failed. Every goal we reached was short of the goal we had aimed at, or only a poor replica of the one we had in mind. We were constantly on the run from the big life.
What are you driving at?
I'm trying to say that dying is almost a gradual, near imperceptible process. It begins the day you're born. I think that process can be so gradual that someone might find themselves dead without knowing it.
Oh, now you're becoming... Do you feel it now?
Yes, plainly.
It's changed. It's more like digging now.
There it is again.
Oh, what's happening to us? What's wrong? Here we are, something going on around us, and neither of us wants to stir a limb.
Don't excite yourself, Nora. Everything is just fine.
Then why are we so helpless? Why don't we do something?
There's nothing we can do.
Stephen, you're hiding something from me.
No, nothing at all.
Oh, please, Stephen, I'm not a child. What is it? Tell me.
I'm not sure.
Please, tell me.
Okay. Have you noticed that we're not very hungry as of late? We hardly ever think of food. It makes little difference to us whether it rains or if the sun is shining. I'm sure spring must have come by now.
Spring? I know. We're dead, and the gardener's boy is planting flowers on our grave.
Johnny Go, starring Alan Freed. It's the motion picture with the greatest rock and roll lineup ever. Listen, Jimmy Clanton, Jackie Wilson, Richie Valens, Eddie Cochran, and Chuck Berry, and more.
And now for our final story. And this is not a recording. Indeed, our goal is to give you a lively rendition of The Challenge of Bureaucracy, an original story by Carol Glickfield and adapted for radio by Robert McCoy.
Hello.
Hello? Is this the government?
You have reached Department 3A-9. This is the Rehabilitative Relocations Unit for block grant recipients within Region 9.
That's the government of it. Listen, I'm an old lady and I have a problem. My landlord is going to evict me because I'm behind in my rent. I'm behind in my rent because my social security check is late. And I don't have any food in the house.
I'm sorry. Financial and dietary evaluations are not within the purview of my sectional expertise.
I'd ask you to repeat that, but I don't think it would get any better the second time around.
Madam, your problem is outside my jurisdiction. Let me refer you to another number. Call 355 4536. That's a multi-purpose senior center which receives funding under the Older Americans Act for access and gap filling services.
Gap filling.
Yes, gap filling.
Oh, yes, well, I suppose you could say there is a gap in my income, and I sure need someone to fill it, not to mention my empty stomach. Thank you.
Silver Retirees and Golden Pensioners Leisure Activity Center. Good morning.
Good morning. I need help.
That's why we're here. Do you need a ride to your Silver Retirees and Golden Pensioners Leisure Activity Center?
What? No, I need my social security check, which has been lost. Because I haven't paid my rent, my landlord is going to evict me, and I don't have any food in the house.
Oh my, you mean you're not going to be joining us for leisure crafts this afternoon?
I very much doubt it.
You should have a hobby, something to occupy your time.
I do have a hobby. It's trying to locate social security checks and avoiding being evicted and, trying not to starve to death.
Well, as long as you're happy, that's what counts. Happiness is the natural honey of the universe, and we're here to spread it.
Are you sure that it's honey? Look, I need help. Not a hobby. Who should I call?
Oh, yes. Well, let's see. Golden Romer Senior Center, White Panthers, Pepper Nutrition Program, free blood pressure and temperature taking, toenail clipping. Here it is. Call 945-3301. That's Problem Senior Citizens.
What? I am not a problem senior citizen. I'm a senior citizen with a problem. Goodbye.
Problem senior citizens, your call may be monitored for quality control. It will not be recorded.
To speed our services, we have inaugurated a menu-based speed dial system.
Please press 1 if you wish to converse in Spanish.
Press 2 if you are speaking on behalf of a partner or another for whom you serve as guardian.
Press 3 if your problem is transportation related.
Press 4 if your problem is health related.
Press 5 if you wish to speak to a counselor. Hello, this is Problem Citizens. May we help you?
Is somebody else listening in on this conversation?
I'm not permitted to know that. Please, just consider it an expression.
Okay, look, lady, my social security check is late or lost. My landlord is going to evict me. I'm starving to death. Do any or all of these qualify as senior citizen problems?
I believe so. When did you receive your last Social Security check?
3 months ago.
And how long is your rent overdue?
3 months.
When was your last meal?
Yesterday morning, I had an egg and a piece of toast.
When was your last birthday?
3 days ago. I'm 73.
And sex?
Oh, March 10th, 1977.
What?
Well, about 11:30 in the evening.
I mean, are you male or female?
Well, female.
Are you Caucasian, Hispanic, Black, Asian, or other?
What's other?
Not Caucasian, not Hispanic, not Black, not Asian. What are you?
Hungry.
Ah, yes, Hungarian. That would be white, wouldn't it?
Well, I am pale from hunger. Does that count? Can you help me or not?
Well, let's see if you qualify for food stamps. Is your income below $316 per month?
Well, it's zero right now. If my check comes, it'll be $295. That's all I have.
What are your assets?
Well, good looks, dwindling, and perseverance. Also dwindling.
I mean, do you have other money in the bank? Other income?
Look, if I were a rich lady, would I be talking to you?
Yes. Well, why don't you let me process your claim for food stamps? You could get them in about 2 weeks, 10 days if you come into office.
Are you saying you want me to go hungry for 10 days to 2 weeks? I need my Social Security check now. I don't want to be evicted, and I certainly don't want to starve to death.
You do have a multiplicity of problems. Let me just punch all this into the computer and see what we get. Age 73, female, white, late check, food stamps, eviction.
What does the damn thing say?
Ah, here we go. For information about late Social Security checks, call your Social Security Ombudsman. For food stamps, call the U.S. Department of Agriculture. For all landlord-tenant problems, call the Tenants Protective Association. For sex counseling, call Planned Parenthood.
Wait, what? Which one should I start with? Where should I call?
Well, sorry, it's 5 o'clock. Why don't you call me back Monday morning, and then I'll give you all the telephone numbers.
Senior soup shuttle from our kitchen to your door. May I help you?
Well, I certainly hope so. My Social Security check is late. My landlord is going to evict me, and although I've had my fill of bureaucracy, my stomach is still empty.
Do you have food stamps?
No.
Have you applied?
No.
Do you have any relatives, anyone you can turn to until we have an opportunity to see if your address fits within one of our delivery zones?
No, and I am not likely to have an address either unless something happens soon.
You are seriously threatened with eviction?
Most assuredly.
I'm sorry to hear that. You see, we can't commit to delivering to your door unless you have a door. Why don't you give us a call back next week and try to get things settled with your landlord? Meanwhile, since you seem a bit downhearted, you might want to try a little spiritual sustenance. The number at Dial Prayer is 1-800-222-5456.
You've reached Dial a Prayer. Press 1 if you wish your prayer in Spanish.
Press 2 if you wish a prayer for forgiveness.
Press 3 if you wish a prayer for health.
Press 4 if you wish a prayer for prosperity.
Press 5 if you wish a prayer for academic success.
Press 6 if you wish to address the Lord directly.
Lord? Oh, Lord Almighty, are you up there? This is Mabel Finney. Can you hear me, Lord? Help me this time, and I promise I'll never get into any kind of trouble again. That tar time in March '77, that was an accident. I just didn't have my wits about me. I swear I'll reform, Lord. Can you hear me, Lord?
This is the Lord. I am very sorry that I could not be here to take your call. At the sound of the tone, please leave your name, number, and religious persuasion, and I will get back to you first thing Monday morning. This is a recording. This is a recording. This is a recording.
Drive your Chevrolet through the USA. America's the greatest land of all. On a highway or a road along a levee. Performance is sweeter, nothing can beat her. Life is completer in a Chevy. So make a date today to see the USA and see it in your Chevrolet.